frankly, I don't think Assad would have done that. It does not serve his interests. It would tend to draw us into that civil war even further.
Who do you think is behind it? Who do you think is behind it?
You know, you've got a war going on over there. Supposedly that airstrike was on an ammo dump, and so I don't know if it was released because there was gas stored in the ammo dump or not. That's plausible. I'm not saying that's what I think happened, but
You're more inclined to believe the position of what Bashar al-Assad is saying and what the Russians are saying right now than more inclined to believe what even your colleagues here in the United States believe is truth, that this is Assad, and what human rights observers over there say is Assad?
I don't think it would have served Assad's purposes to do a chemical attack on his people. So it's hard for me to understand why he would do that if he did.
Congressman Tom Massie, thanks for your time.
The look on Kate's face is classic. It's like someone had hit her in the back of the head with a brick, and she's just like, how can someone say this, let alone a politician? Have journalists, and I'll ask you both, we've got about 2 minutes, but have journalists truly not learned their lesson from the second Iraq War? I mean, or is this different than the Iraq War, as critics would argue? Samir, why is it that every journalist seems to be lockstep in, let's go bomb, let's go war, without waiting for the evidence, without, maybe saying, hey, let's take a step back and see how this plays out before we just want to start bombing people?
Well, they're fulfilling the interests of their corporate overlords. And the corporate overlords and the deep state and the establishment want to go to war. They don't understand that this is literally Iraq over again. And it was a similar situation. Saddam Hussein had gotten rid of his chemical weapons in the early 90s. And then in 2002, 2003, we beat the drums for war, and everybody was in lockstep behind the neocon establishment, even Hillary Clinton and the rest of the Democratic Party.
Max, your thoughts? Why is the media just not learned their lesson from 2002, 2003?
I think they've maintained a culture in which American exceptionalism and a belief in it is a prerequisite to emerge within mainstream American media. Look at Kate Bolden's interviews during Israel's assault on the Gaza Strip in 2014, when she was bringing up human shields and trying to advance the Israeli narrative, while over 1,400 civilians, mostly women and children, were being killed. Then she weeps for Syria, and those tears are designed to overwhelm reasoning and calls for independent investigations with emotion to drive the policy of military humanism. And that's been the narrative. That was the narrative that pushed Trump while he was vacationing at Mar-a-Lago, and it's a very dangerous narrative. We saw Brian Williams on MSNBC last night refer to the cruise missile strikes as beautiful, quoting Leonard Cohen. So I think we can say that democracy dies in dumbness, and it's that dumbness that characterizes a media that doesn't know what's actually going on on the ground in Syria. As Ben Norton and I pointed out at Alternet, the one issue that the American mainstream media will not discuss in the context of Syria is the rebels. Who are the rebels? Who controls it? Who controls Idlib, and what is their agenda? That's the question at hand that we should be asking. I want to thank everyone for coming on today. Once again, always a pleasure to have you on, Max and Samira. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.